Welcome, friends, to another episode of Daisy Lever Gun Fun. I've got something very special I want to show you here. I was commissioned to actually produce this gun, and the only guidelines I had was that it was to commemorate a friend of ours who was in the U.S. military. He was in the Army and very proud of his service with the military police. So his wife wanted to surprise him with something special that came out of the workshop. Well, I didn't know exactly where we were going to go with this one. However, I started out with just a frame, just the hull, if you will, from a Model 99B. That's what this is. If you see the top profile, you're going to say, oh yeah, that looks like the 99B model. But the trigger assembly is a one-piece metal trigger, the folded trigger. The 99B had the plastic, not the plastic, but the safety trigger assembly inside, and it had a targeting kind of assembly because the 99B was one of the target rifles. All I had, though, was the shell. So we started with that, and you can tell from the different screws that are in here that I had to do some reconfiguring just to be able to use that trigger, and I reworked the interior of the gun to be able to match it up to a new piston assembly inside. Of course, we have one of the elongated forestocks on it, and I did cut down the distance. Most of them are about 17 inches from the edge of the receiver to the muzzle. This one comes up to about 13 3/4. So I made a super carbine out of it. And if you'll notice, the sights are totally different from what you're going to get on a 99. I used one of the fiber optic sights, made it fit the front here, on the muzzle assembly, of course. And instead of trying to reset a modern style sight for the rear, I did one of the hooded sights that I make out of these simple, I guess you get them off Red Riders or anything like that. And I moved it back, attached it to the sight mount on here, and that took what would be a sight up here on one of the other guns and moved it all the way back, even beyond where the targeting sight would have been on the 99. The stock, well, it was a straight stock that I had to take off of another gun. It was damaged, and so I did some reworking on it, reshaped it. It's got a smaller butt plate, but it has the metal butt plate that I make so often. Because it's a straight wrist on this one, I used a straight aluminum cocking lever, and with a 3-star motif, I think it goes real well with the fact that this has a military insignia on it. So this is a United States Army challenge coin, and I inset that into the stock. I took another one, and on the other side of the challenge coin, you would find tribute to the Military Police Corps and the cross pistols on their insignia. That is also inset into the stock. Now you can tell, to be able to rework this trigger properly, I had to drill, tap, create a bolt for this, and it sets higher. If this were any other design gun without this straight line coming back here, they would be notched out, and there would be a spot for one of the triggers. But this being the newer model, it didn't have that, so we had to make it, and it worked out real well. Every time you cock and fire this gun, it's a breeze. I mean, it really has a lot of power. To be able to load it, because we have a solid muzzle on this, it's not a single shot. I wanted to be able to use the shot tube that has the feeder on it. So we put one of the loading gates on here like you would find on some of the other more modern guns like your 105s and your Red Riders and so forth. Well, friends, this is it. This is the Tribute gun. And, oh yeah, of course, I put a non-adjustable, custom-made sling on here. Made that out of strap material, and I think it came out pretty well. There you go, friends. If you have any comments you'd like to make about tribute guns or any other guns that you might have in mind, please leave it in the comment section. I like hearing from you folks. And if you get a chance, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll be talking to you soon. Stay safe. Have a great day.